Hey there, guys. Some people are having problems with Doomtrain to damage cap this boss, so we're going to be going back for another clear. I'm going to be demonstrating the way to do it without using evokers. For those of you that just don't have, like, powerful Yuna, powerful Rydia, Tsukiko, etc., we're going to be doing it with just a physical team. Now, I explained, or I mentioned, I should say, in the previous video, you can do it with Reraise if you can't do evokers, and I think I confused a lot of people. I've seen comments saying people are casting a Reraise on the boss and wondering why the boss didn't die. It's not like that. Reraise doesn't kill the boss. The boss is not undead. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go in here, and we're going to do a clear, and I'm going to explain step by step. Might be a little bit slowish, but yeah, we're going to be doing it this. Now, you can take literally any DPS you want. Physical, magical, old, new, whatever. As long as it's decent enough to deal some damage, we're going to get rid of the boss's mitigation. So let's get in here. We're going to use a magical tank so we can take as long as we want. We don't care how long this takes. Magical tank, there is no time limit. Okay, so every turn, or what the boss is going to do, he's going to be doing single target physical and AoE magic. The AoE magic is either water or light element, and there's a 200 light in peril. So we're using a magic tank with 100 water and 300 light resist. I'm sorry, 200 light in peril. I think I said 100. So 300 light resist, 100 water resist, and passive provoke and evasion. That's going to be our Mave. The boss also uses AoE poison and disease, so we're going to use Mave to just immune that. Now, as far as the boss's mitigation goes, well, first of all, let's go ahead and use our tank. So the tank, just every turn, is just going to cover, provoke, and practice lore. And yeah, so provoke, cover, and status immunity for the party. That's all the tank's going to do. Okay, now as far as what's it called? The mitigation. So we're going to reflect Reraise onto the boss. So we're going to have someone on the Carbuncle Esper for reflect. You can also use the reflect ring if you own it. Mirror of Shatal, just some way to reflect somebody. And someone needs to cast the Reraise spell on that reflected person. So we're going to use Blue Mage Fina to do both. We're going to just dual cast. We're going to cast Reflect on someone, doesn't matter who, we'll do it on Shira. And we're going to reflect the Reraise spell, which she has in her kit. It's got to be the Reraise spell, not an ability. And we're going to bounce that off of Shira onto the boss. Now the boss has Reraise. It doesn't kill the boss, but the boss has Reraise. Now we have to kill the boss while Reraise is there. Another thing I've seen many comments about is people are like, I'm reflecting Reraise on the boss, then I'm killing him. The boss isn't coming back to life. What is going on? There's a few reasons for this, and I've talked to people, and we figured out a few things people are mistaking. First of all, you've got to kill the boss while Reraise is still there. I've seen people say that they reflect Reraise on turn 1, then they like putz around, they do some setup, maybe their damage is very low because they're not using evokers, and the boss dies on like turn 5, and the boss doesn't come back. Well, the problem is Reraise wore off. That's your problem. So if you're not killing the boss right away after casting a Reraise, you got to make sure it's there when the boss dies. It's only a 3-turn duration. It looks like 4 turns, really 3 turns because, the turn duration, we reflected a buff to the boss. So, if you don't kill the boss in the first 3 turns, it's going to be gone. So there it is. So you got to kill the boss. Another thing is a lot of people don't realize just how many perfect dispels are in the game at this point. Reraise is a buff. And people are doing things like using Tsukiko's Limit Burst to kill the boss so it can come back with no mitigation. They don't realize, like, Tsukiko's Limit Burst is a perfect dispel. Wilk has some perfect dispels in his kit. There's a lot of perfect dispels. If you use a perfect dispel while killing the boss, Reraise is gone, he won't come back. So we got to kill him while Reraise is there. So let's go ahead and use... now we're going to go ahead and just kill the boss. We're going to just use Shira to entrust the Cacteria and break the boss. We're going to use the shifted LB of 2B, and Choo Choo is going to chain up with our 2B. Now we didn't imbue or anything yet, so damage horribly bad. We're going to imbue and all in just a second. Anyway, now we're going to imbue. Now if you have evokers, Use them to kill the boss, and it'll take like probably turn 1 kill, completely honest here. But we're going to use physical units. It's going to take a few moments, not too long. We're also not only using 1 unit, but it's going to take a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and use the Holy Imbue with Fina, which is Crowning Veil. That's a Holy Imbue, a killer, etc. And we're going to use 2B, Entrusted by Shira, to just use her LB with Choo Choo support chaining, and we'll go ahead and do that. So we need to kill the boss. So it's going to take a few turns. It shouldn't take too terribly long. It's like 4 turns. Whatever. We'll just guard you. Alright. Go ahead and do this again. We can just guard you, repeat you. And you know, we're covering each turn with Maeve. All right, do this. We got a shift. Do the shifted LB, which means Choo Choo's got to swap to bolting strike frames. Chain it up. Guard you. Oh, you know what I didn't do is light in peril, huh? That could be part of the reason why we're taking so long to kill the boss. I didn't light in peril yet. Big whoops. Alright, let's go ahead and light in peril. You know what, we'll just do it with stupid 2B. Yeah, we'll just do it this way. Whatever. Guard you. Let's see, we can just break again with you. Entrust. Whatever. Alright, now we imperil. That was my mistake. I forgot about imperil. So we're taking a moment longer than it should. But we're gonna kill the boss. Alright, so Choo Choo will Extreme Nova. We will Bolting Strike, or that'll be. Oh yeah, much better. We can just guard you, we can entrust you, we can repeat you. Alright, let's go ahead. You know, this is taking a moment. This is fine. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Our tank is making us completely immune to everything, etc. The boss is light imperiled now, right? Yeah, lowers light resistance. Alright, I think we need to do the shift form LB of 2B at this point, so we'll do the shifted LB. Choo Choo will support chain. Okay, so we're going to kill it next turn. Okay, and it's going to come back. So we need to re-raise, though. Remember, we didn't kill the boss right away. This is the common problem that players are having. They do the re-raise, and it wears off before they kill the boss. We're going to go ahead and reflect someone. We'll reflect Shira. Let's do re-raise on Shira. And bounce re-raise onto the boss. Let's go ahead and kill the boss. There it is. Now the boss comes back with re-raise. Now the boss doesn't have mitigation anymore. This is what we're looking for. Now we can deal real damage. So we're going to, we'll go ahead and use Cacteria to do a big 89 defense break. We can entrust you. Maeve can repeat. We just did the LB on 2B to get her set up, so she is ready to go now, but we're going to do her amplify and all that. So we'll go to the base form with 2B. We will do Imbue Imperil, Big Amplify, and Pod Charge. 2B, or Choo Choo can just hang out. Blue Fina will do her Fairy Killer. We can just do this. We can just guard you. And Maeve can just repeat, and we're going to go ahead and kill next turn. Took a while, but we're going to go ahead and damage cap. Now, you'll notice my party is mostly just kind of whatever units. You can absolutely use more DPS. You don't have to use a single 2B. So we're going to go ahead and Extreme Nova. We're going to Bolting Strike you. We're going to Bolting Strike you. And that should be the end of the boss. And this should be a damage cap with a physical team. There we go. 2B did large amounts because we got rid of the Reraise. 7.8 with a solo 2B. Because the mitigation is gone. The mitigation is the big problem. So this is why I didn't do it. This is why I didn't do it the first way. It's relatively slow. Now I could have built like a full power team and probably killed it in 2 or 3 turns or less with physical units. But perfect score, and the damage is not going to show very much. Yeah, because whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. So there it is. There is a way to do it. Let's go ahead and show the team again, and I'm going to go over the specifics yet again for what we're doing here. Okay. Magical cover tank. Honestly, you don't even need this. You could just gear the party in resistance, cure the imperils, and all that. It's a big headache. But so we just brought a super lazy mode. We set it and forget it. Repeat, done, whatever. So the magical tank had 300 light resist, 100 water resist, evasion, and we have passive. We honestly cast provoke every turn. Passive provoke is fine. We use active provoke, full evasion, and yeah. That's really all that matters, and that's just so that we can stall as long as we want and not care about the boss. So, kind of whatever. There it is. You could do things like the boss does disease and poison as well, and made us immune. Shira, just entrust every turn, some mana regen, and yeah, just so we can spam LBs. Replace him with anyone you want. Cacteria, just a breaker. She did 87 breaks in the early part, 89% break as the kill turn. And Blue Wave for support chaining on the kill round. We'll come back to 2B. Choo Choo, biggest carry ever. She had mana reduction, mana regen, Blue Wave, and Eye of the Dragon, so she could either triple bolting or Extreme Nova. She is just here to support 2B. Now 2B would obviously be doing a lot less damage if she didn't have Choo Choo helping her support chain. So there you go. That was her contribution. You can, if you really want to, you could replace her with a different damage dealer to do chaining, etc. And then Blue Mage Fina is someone to re-raise. She's on the Carbuncle Esper for the Reflect spell, and she's got re-raise in her kit naturally, and she was chosen because she has Crowning Veil, which is a AoE fairy killer of 150%, and she's completely free. Everyone has her. So we gave her dual cast from Soul of Thamasa and Blue Wave. And then 2B, very well geared. LB damage versus Fairy Killer, a little bit of chain cap up, etc. Now, obviously, you don't need this well of gear. You know, I did like 8 billion on the kill turn, which is double what we needed. It was literally a solo DPS. You could fill the entire party with DPS units. As long as one of them has Re-Raise and Reflect, bring 6 DPS, kill it slowly, do what you want. So, once again, 300 light resist, 100 water resist, evasion, provoker, poison, and disease immunity, magical cover or resist for the whole party, and there it is. Doomtrain shouldn't be a problem doing it the slow way. Okay, see you in a bit.